Welcome everyone to our inventory management webinar. As always, we're excited to have you here with us today. I'm Chanel Enos, Director of Sales for DTools Cloud, and I'll be kicking things off. And joining me, we have Bobby Bernarte, our Product Manager. Welcome, Bobby.
Hello, Chanel. Thank you.
Glad to have you with us today, Bobby. So Bobby's been working closely with our dev team, and we've been making some improvements on inventory since its initial release, and he's ready to showcase what's new so we can help make managing your stock so much easier. So at this stage, DTools Cloud is a full end-to-end solution. And our team is here to help train and support all employees so that you can deploy it in every aspect of your business. So if there's an area of the software that you're not utilizing, don't worry. Schedule your training with your customer success managers and let us help you get that feature suite up and running. And then for those of you that don't know, we recently added job costing reports so you can better understand your project performance. By tracking how effectively labor is being utilized, managers instantly know whether a project is running under, on, or over budget. Job costing also enables other critical business reports like revenues earned in a financial period and current backlog. So we're very excited to offer you more reporting capabilities. So please check out our new job costing reports on your projects. All right, and with that, I'm going to hand it over to Bobby.
Thank you, Chanel, and thank you everyone for joining us. So for today, inventory, what we're going to be covering is how to get started. Now that inventory is part of the DTools Cloud ecosystem, how do I get started? How do I enable it? And then I'm going to go over the two primary methods of how to get your quantities into DTools Cloud, whether that's through a bulk import via spreadsheet or manual updates on each item. And then also, where does inventory show up? Point out key areas such as the item status page, our ready to order page, and of course, our main inventory dashboard. And then finally, how does that new item status, new and improved item status work, or how is it laid out now, right? So at a glance, we'll do an overview of how to view stock levels in there, as well as how the two tabs, ordering and scheduling, function. So with that being said, I'm sure you have questions on what's next for inventory. And so on our roadmap for our next few iterations are label making, a way for you to print out labels for individual items as well as bulk shipment. Auditing, a way to track or log inventory changes and provide a thorough audit trail. Expanded reporting, so stock movement, turnover, and forecasting will be part of that. RMAs, a way to streamline the return process with automatic updates to stock counts. And then an enterprise inventory management, so future scalability for multi-warehouse locations, as well as inventory tracking and batch processing. And finally, accounting financial integrations, right? A way to sync your data with popular accounting systems for real-time financial reconciliation, and of course, more to come. So with that being said, let's actually dive in and start with how do I enable inventory in DTools Cloud. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my screen. And so as you come into Details Cloud and you come over to your procurement and to the main inventory page, what you'll see if you haven't enabled the inventory feature just yet is this start page. It'll give you an opportunity to go through our documentation with that Learn How to Get Started button. It will take you to our help articles and guide you through quick start guides of what you need for your setup. We'll cover that as well today. And then once you're set and you've read that documentation and you feel that you're ready to enable inventory, you just click on the link below to enable the feature. And what you'll see as inventory comes up is once you enable it, you will have a blank slate, right? And so what you'll have to do here is you'll have to designate your stock items or what you're holding in inventory. And there's two ways, like I said at the top, to do so, whether that be by bulk through a spreadsheet or individually from your products to mark them as stock items. So we'll start with the spreadsheet method at first. So here to the right, there's a gear icon that you'll be able to click on. And again, the Get Started. And again, those two options, whether it's through an import through CSV or a setup via your catalog. So we'll start with the import from CSV. And as I click on that, what you'll see is that a window will pop up. It'll give you some guidelines as far as what exactly it needs to be included on that import for this inventory piece. We also give you an opportunity to download your products to a CSV file. And I'm going to show you an example of that CSV file. And I'll bring it on screen. And so what you see here is I've exported my catalog, and I do have some items that I've marked as stock items. And what I've done also is I've highlighted the column that pertains to inventory, and that's that on-hand quantity, right? Well, we're talking about how do I get my quantities in there. If you do have items that you have marked and you have already checked in quantities to, on that export, you will be able to see it on this CSV file. So in this case, if I wanted to add quantities for other products that I have not marked as stock just yet, I would just need to put in amount into the quantity on hand column. In this case, if I wanted to do Arcanus and I wanted to do Atlas, and I wanted to say, okay, those are the two that I'm trying to import into the system, I will then be able to come here and import it. And it's should look familiar. This is the same process we used for importing into your catalog. And as I follow the steps to completion, what you'll see is there's a new column on the right-hand side that says quantity on hand, which will let you verify the amounts that you are trying to import into the system. And for this one, for this example, I'm going to go ahead and continue to import. And I'm going to reset my, I'm going to go ahead and click done. I'm going to reset my filters. I had set the filters just so you could see the example for when there are no items in there. Now that I've imported those particular items in, what you're going to see is the list of the items that I have imported into the system. The two that I've just added are the Arcanist as well as the Atlas. So what you'll see then is the quantity that's available as well as the quantity that's on hand, right? And as I click on that particular item, what you'll see there is the on-hand quantity, like we talked about, the available, as well as the allocated, ordered, or needed stock levels for this particular item, and how that works. And I'll go into detail. On hand is what I have in my possession. Available are all items that are not allocated or reserved for a project. Allocated is anything that is reserved or allocated for a particular project. Ordered is anything that is on order. And then needed is anything in a project that needs this particular item. So that is the first way to get items into the system or into D-Tools Cloud as a bulk or mass import into the system. The other way to get items into the system is through the catalog. And as I go to the catalog, what you'll notice here is that stock item icon. And those are your designated stock items. So what you can do is you can also mark these as a stock item individually. And then it'll prompt you for the initial stock. So you can do that one by one if need to. You do have the option to do it by bulk here as well. And so as I select a few items, I go up to my action tab and I mark these as stock items. The one difference that you'll notice is that it does not prompt me for the initial quantities, which I will then have to go to my inventory page, and I'll have to update those totals. So here on the Ingenious camera, I can set the stock here. So I can set my initial stock just like I did for that other item. I'm going to set it to 10 and it'll check it in, and then it'll update my quantities as far as what's available and what's on hand. So now that I've done so, I have all my stock items. You'll notice that I do have locations set up for check-in, two particular locations within my organization. If you need to set up other locations, inventory locations, on the gear icon under Manage Settings, you'll be able to set up inventory locations 5 levels deep, all the way down to a bin. And you're free to name those whatever you'd like. You can set up multiple zones, multiple aisles, multiple racks, multiple shelves, and multiple bins. From this screen as well, what you'll be able to do since our last update yesterday is you now have a way to mark non-stock items in a purchase order so that you can track it on that inventory page automatically. You can do it here through this setting by turning it on, as well as automatically checking in stock items to a default location that you'll be able to designate here upon receipt. So right now on the flow from purchase orders, once you receive a purchase order, the system will prompt you to check those stock items into a particular location. And if you don't want to do that, you want to designate it to an area by default, you can do so here by a setting. If you don't turn it on or don't turn on these settings, the system will prompt you on those POs as far as where you want to check it in, or if you want to mark some of those items as a stock item so you can track it in your inventory. So you can turn on this setting if you'd like to make it more convenient, or you can leave it off and the system will still prompt you as to what you want to do going forward. So now that I've marked these items and I can track them as far as my stock levels, how does that apply to my projects and my existing projects, and what does it look like on the project level? Going ahead and go into one of my projects here. And we're going to take a look at that new item status page. So on the item status page, again, the icon for stock items is present there. And what you'll notice on this new page is that it is broken up into two different workflows. The ordering workflow, so what do I need? What do I need to order? Basically lives on this page. So what I can see is all the required items that I need. And if they are stock items, I will be able to see if I have inventory of that particular item. And then one other column to take note of is this reserved column. So once I know that I need two of this Atlas IED and I have available inventory, how do I reserve that or allocate it for this project? So in this case, I would select the Atlas, and then here in the top right, I would be able to reserve from inventory. What you'll notice also is that this number, this reserved or this needed number on the right on the reserved column is higher than what's required on the line item for the kitchen, which is 2. What this is letting you know that there is 11 of this same item needed for this project, right? So you'll need a total of 11 for that particular item. In this case, I'm going to reserve 2 just for this area or location within the project. It's going to ask me how many do I want to reserve? Do I want to reserve all 10 or just the 2 that's required for that location? In this case, I'm just reserving the 2 that I want for this location. And so now I can see that I've reserved it. The order status in this case is not ready to be ordered. I can move it to in stock. And now I can go ahead and move over to my scheduling tab. Because I know that I have that particular item, I can then link it to a task and then schedule that for an installation. And that's the whole workflow as far as how these two are broken up. You'll be able to view any tasks that this is scheduled for. And as you can see here, the items, if you do not have enough reserve quantity for a particular item, it will flag you and let you know that you don't have enough just for this scheduled task. Okay, so let's go back to the ordering tab. And on this ordering tab, there is the ready to be ordered flow, or a way to let your procurement or the person doing your ordering know that you're ready for a particular item to be ordered. In this case, I'm going to select this Atlas Z4. It's going to update it. And what you're going to see on the procurement ready to be ordered page is that Z4 show up. And so inventory shows up on this page, and it'll alert your purchasing person that this is ready to be ordered. But it will also show them the stock levels that are currently available for these items. And in this case, the Atlas has 10 available. So as the project manager, I'm informing them that I need this product. If the project manager didn't reserve it, you will be able, as the purchasing person, be able to say, okay, I'm going to take that from my inventory, and then whether I reserve it, if I reserve it, what's going to happen is it's going to take it from stock and mark it as allocated for that project. And then now what I can do as a purchasing agent is let the project manager know that that has been reserved, and that we don't need to order that particular item because we do have it in stock. But the information is provided, so you're always ordering the correct amount for the project. In this case, I do know that there's some in inventory, and I can communicate that to my team member. Another area where inventory shows up is in our service calls. During a service call, if you add a product to your service call, in this case, I added a Sony, and it's a stock item. I do see that it's available. By changing the status to delivered, it's going to ask me to check it out of inventory. And I'll be able to reserve that or check it out for that particular service call. So a portion of inventory is making its way into service. It will be expanded upon in the near future. But I wanted to point that out just because we have been getting some questions on that. And so it does show up there as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, everyone.